Is this any better? Can you guys hear now? Let me know if this is any better. Is this any better? Can you guys hear now? There you go. All right. Okay. Awesome. Okay, so yeah, definitely. As I was saying, some of you know that we took an SPX put yesterday. We trimmed some of it. We got out with minimal loss, but I kept a tail for today. And of course, as you can tell from the market, I got absolutely spanked. That position got destroyed. I don't know why. I don't feel like unemployment going down was or sorry, going up alone. That small percentage is enough to just drive the market crazy like this. We have been seeing signs, like I said yesterday, it looked a little bit bullish. So we have been signs of some bullishness. The $1 million question is, and that was a big hit. Like that was a 1K hit, 1.2K hit for the account. So definitely that needs to be made up today. But yeah, my point being is that the $1 million question now becomes is, are we bullish for the rest of the day, or is this gonna pull back? What's gonna happen here, right? This is what we absolutely need to figure out today. Because it's definitely gonna be a very volatile day, very crazy day. It's a Friday, right? So that on its own, begets volatility and inherent risk, right? Now you add to that a very unclear report where some people are bullish, some people are bearish on it, and you just have yourself a cocktail of, like absolute madness. But all right, so let's see who is with us here today. Sizian, good morning. Omega, good morning to you, my friend. Jeff, good morning. He's asking if I'm gonna sell calls at the open. Dude, with this and with any earnings, and for everyone, if I am profitable on an earnings call, I sell immediately at the open. I very rarely wait. And like I said before, the reason for that is you will never get or it will take a lot for you to get as good a price at the open as you would later on the day, right? So this usually is my reasoning. Jay Smooth, good morning to you, my friend. Omega, good morning again. Hayden, good morning. Tari, good morning to you, my man. Anel, great morning, my good friend. Ken, good morning. So yeah, good morning everyone. Thank you guys so much for joining us here today. And I was asking, are these Carvana puts about to print? I would think so. Last time I checked, Carvana was still down. I don't see a reason. I don't feel like the market, the pump we have right now would greatly affect Carvana. It's a shit company. I don't see why it will move with the market, but it is a possibility. Yeah, down 10%. Again, I would not risk it. I would just take my my gains and move on here, right? So that would have been, that's nice. Jason was saying selling my puts at the open, trying to get the most I can. I'm with you, buddy. I also took a big hit on the tail I have left. This is why yesterday I said, like max position 20%, right? Max position never more than 20%. 20% is, as high as you should go, and for earnings for 5%, because, in case something goes wrong, something happens, you're not like stuck with a big loss in your account. But it is what it is. Sometimes things will not go our way. I am still interested to know more why, like, these results are extremely bullish, or the market is reading them as this bullish. So because again, if we don't know why, we cannot correctly predict what's going to happen, right? So that's going to be important. Now, quick analysis here, because we have three 3 minutes before the open. Jeff is saying first day, my port is all green for once. Congratulations to you, Jeff. I'm very, very happy that you're green, my good man. All right, so quickly here, let's look at the futures, see what they're doing. Of course, you know, they're going absolutely nutty, just crazy. And we see here that we have cleared the 50 MA on the 1 hour chart on the futures, right? So the $1 million question now becomes, at least from a technical analysis, is that are we going back down to test the 50 MA one more time, or is this it? Is this a crazy run all the way to the 200 MA, right? So a lot of play here would be just to get like same day expiry or next day expiry SPX calls at the open, very, very small amount, and just hold them to like for the rest of the day and see what happens, right? In case we get like, we're up 1.5, if we get like a 3% day or 2.5 day, that will be a big runner. But of course, only lotto size, that would be like a nice lotto play. So it's just something to consider. But as for main plays, so far I'm looking, right? So far, you know, again, like I really want to see how the open goes, because the open will be very telling, hopefully. I am mostly concerned with the 50 MA here on the 1 hour in the futures, which of course, you know, probably is the same thing on the SPY, which we will look at right now. Jay is saying big gap on ES volume from 377 to 377.60. Okay, so 360 will be... Okay, yeah, that's the levels. That's probably why we had a very seamless run. If there was a volume gap, you know, we would get the seamless run that we had now. 1 minute to the open. Let's quickly look at everything. So VIX is down quite a bit, right? So we've seen VIX not moving when the market was down, which was a little bit worrying, but and now we see why. Now people have not been hedging, and of course now they seem to be getting out of puts even more. So even when the market was down, people were not interested in hedging, or they've already hedged enough. That could be another reason. That is always a possibility. But now here we see VIX, of course, you know, just absolutely shattered, going down a lot, down 2.25%. Now, this does not mean things will not go down later in the day or on Monday. But for now, you know, we're going to go with the trend. No need to, you know, again, guess. We're just go where the trend takes us. So the market has opened. So let's quickly jump into the SPY. Morning, Angelique. Morning, Crypto Panda. Hope you guys are having a nice green day here today with us. So, all right. So obviously, the market open right now. So let's see what the market is going to bring us. We have an explosive open here. All right. Like right out of the gate, like pure explosions. I did have one SPX call that hopefully I will try to get out of now if I get a fill. Let's see. And I got filled. That's nice. So, I got filled. All right. So again, the name of the game for me today is of course, try to make the losses from, you know, the puts. That was bad. And for the most part, I will be going with the trend. You know, nothing. I'm not gonna just go overboard here with anything. I personally do not believe that the numbers are that bullish the way that people are making them out to be, but you know, again, we don't really care much for that. All we care for is what the market will do. Now, the SPY 1 hour here paints a different picture, right? The SPY 1 hour here shows us a big rejection yesterday. Sorry, pre-market here at the 200. And then we see the next candle opening right above it, right? So it is possible here, and this might give us a possible entry that we go back down, test the 200 MA, and let's see if we bounce off it, right? So it might want to check out the 200 MA here. You know, make sure that, hey, are you support? Are you resistance? You know, what's the deal? And once it figures that out, then it will probably, you know, make a move. So, and it does seem, you know, like we will not be getting a choppy day, just, you know, given the explosive move in the market today. But again, this is a guess at best. So we see here right at the open, of course, anyone who was lucky enough to get into calls yesterday taking profit. And I don't blame them, right? I mean, like, come on, I don't like from what I've been seeing and what everyone I've been talking to, does not seem that this was much expected. So I mean, even like people who were bullish yesterday were not that bullish. I don't think anyone expected a 1.5% open. But if anyone was called in our group from yesterday, congratulations to you, man, or woman, of course. You know, whoever you are, congratulations. Like that should be a nice 200-300% at least. You know, right at the open for you. So congratulations. Now looks like the SPY is gonna do here what I'm thinking. It like looks like it wants to test the 200 MA. It wants to make sure, you know, that it is indeed support now, not resistance. So for me, I'm gonna take, and again, guys, be very careful because today I'll be doing a lot of scalping. So again, quick ins, quick outs. So for me, I will be taking an SPX call here. If I'm able to get a fill, let's see. Basically, I'll be playing the bounce off the 200 MA. So quick scalp, quick in, quick out. Let's see if that works out for us or not. Again, it's probably people selling out, and on the other hand, you know, you will be getting people who also you know, want to get in on the fun, right? So we got a fill here, which is nice. All right, so now we just, you know, wait and see. Again, careful, this is a risky play. We have 50 MA here on the SPY 1 minute, so we might get a little bounce off that. So just something to keep in mind. This is why I like having all like 4 time frames. It shows you, like, if you're scalping, quick ins, quick out, it shows you what's going on, you know, overall in the market. You can guess where it will just like stay there for a second before it does anything crazy, right? And you can see here, see the 50 MA here on the 1 minute caused this little bounce off in the 5 minutes and everywhere else, right? So it kind of gives you an idea on what's going on in the market, right? So always nice to have everything here handy, you know, and you can see everything that's happening at the same time. Jeff says, I was back holding since Monday, Tuesday long. Hey, you made it, buddy. You made it. Hope you unloaded your bags and got in with some nice profit. Angelique says, calls on SPY. Yeah, I mean, like, I got SPX. I don't know when you send this, if it was before I took the SPX or after, but I got SPX. Again, we're going with the trend here, you know, and the idea is to get on pullbacks. The $1 million questions, like I said, though, this is a risky place. So the $1 million questions becomes, is retesting 200 MA and bouncing back up, or is this just like, you know, the beginning of the end where we just start giving back all gains? Remember, we still have the FMOC looming, you know, over everything that's happening in the market, even though it's done. You know, what Jerome Powell said is nothing to scoff at. But again, like, I guess the guy was pretty damn clear on what he wants, right? So he wants, you know, again, like, quits unemployment numbers. You know, this is why we pumped up, right? Expectations was 3.5, we got 3.7. You know, so this is why the market is bullish, because it's showing, you know, that the companies are heeding, you know, Jerome Powell's requests, you know, and they're reducing their workforce, they're reducing their labor. You know, unemployment begets less spending, right? And less spending begets lower inflation, you know, as prices gets crushed. So, and also signals to, especially if those unemployments are not quits, there are people getting fired, it signals to Jerome Powell that, hey, companies are getting it. They know what's up now, right? They know that this is not good. And, you know, and hey, we're gonna start by firing people. But if that doesn't work, we're probably gonna actually start lowering prices too, you know. So this would definitely be a good signal for you know, Jerome Powell here. So this is one of the reasons why you see a market run up here. And again, like I said, it does look like we're testing 200 MA. 200 MA on a higher time frame is not a level you take lightly at all, right? So, you know, that meme where it's like, one simply does not walk into Mordor, and then like it's the one does not simply guy, one simply does not just, you know, casually break through the 200 MA and keep going on forward on a higher time frame. That's not how it works. You can get that here with the 50, with the 5 minute or 1 minute, maybe, but 1 hour, 1 day, hell no, needs to be retested, right? And looks like we just had sort of had our retest here, right? So you know, good. This would be kind of a safe-ish place to add. I wouldn't say safe place, safe-ish place. right? So I added here a small, a small position, right? Again, I'm still keeping size very small because I think these are definitely risky plays, not something you want to throw the house into, you know. Again, we could see a complete breakthrough of this 200 MA here. I think we're gonna keep going down until we test this level here, 347.7, and then we might get you know, again, of course, we're gonna test the 200 MA as resistance, and if it fails, if it indeed is resistance, we'll probably see it giving back all the gains, going down and filling, you know, again, like people have differing views on this. Some people would say this is not a gap filled, some people would say this is a gap filled, so different people, different views. I have no views on this, honestly. I can't really. I think this for me is a gap filled, because the wick is not nothing. You know, it comes from price action, so definitely something to keep in mind here. All right. So Cizian taking super risky zero TTE coin puts. Yeah, I have zero super risky 0 day TTE calls on SPX. All right. Looks like the 200 MA is doing its thing and it's getting tested. You know, we're getting some. There you go. We're getting it's being tested right now as resistance. And you know, this might kind of signal what kind of day we have here. You know, big sell-off at the open. It is possible that this whole thing was a huge, you know, bull trap, and you know, things will start going down. The VIX does not seem to be budging. Honestly, it seems to be staying in place here. Again, this is if people were expecting the market to go down, they would start hedging right now, especially on a pop. So on a pop, this is where you want to get, you know, your hedges at the best price you can. And we're not really seeing much inflows so far. They could be waiting out the open, you know, because you guys know how the open is. So they could be just waiting out the open, hoping, you know, to get at least a sense of direction before getting into puts, or deciding, hey, no need for puts, you know, port will keep going up. Thank you very much. All right, so SPY here. And it looks like that reset our charts here a little bit. So yeah, it looks like as expected, you know, bounced off this support here, and now, you know, testing 200 MA. The 200 MA is at 275.19, which literally we're currently at, you know. So it's officially being tested as resistance now, and trying to figure out, you know, whether this will work out or not. So we're here waiting, you know. We have to see what's going on. Looks like it's not accepting it, right? So we're not seeing acceptance here, right? So I'm just gonna cut my losses quickly here, get out with minimal losses. I will get in again, of course, if it starts reclaiming it. I'll definitely get back in, but at this point, too risky, so I am out. I'm good. I don't need you know, I don't need anything here. His name was Boromir. Put some respect on his name. All right, all respect to Boromir, of course. The man, the myth, the legend, who keeps dying on every single show that he appears on. I'll just leave that there. All right, so next level of support here for the SPY is the 21 MA. 21 MA is at 373.69, right? So definitely, you know, a level to keep an eye on here. Let's see, of course, what it does with this support first. Now, the 21 MA here, as you can see, on 37.7 coincides with the 50 MA here on the 5 minutes, which is at 373.7, right? So kind of around the same level here. So I would say 373 and 374 is the area of interest for us here today. This is where we're gonna just you know, spend our time. We want to see if we bounce off this area, right? So think of it as sort of a box right here. So this would be the box right here, and think of it as an area of value, right, which will give us, you know, good idea of what's going on. So if we keep above this box here, which is where we're at right now, and bounce off it, cool calls. If we go inside and keep chopping, right, then no play, no calls, no puts. And of course, if we break through, then obviously puts, right? So this for today will be our area of reference. This is what will trigger calls or puts, you know, for us today. Okay. Elvado Gamer saying SPX bounce on yesterday's high. All right. So, yep, it does seem like it, which was the level we had here, right? So I think this needs to be adjusted a little bit because I think intraday levels are not. Yeah, it looks like we have a new, more specific level here. Let's see. Yeah, this is much better, right? So yesterday's high, yesterday's low, PM high, PM low are definitely levels we really look at. So we have here, of course, as we can see, this is the PM high, which is around the open level, right? And we were not able to break the PM high by much. It did went up a little bit here, go up a little bit here, and then got smacked right back down. And of course, like Elvado said, it is currently at yesterday's high, which is also coincidentally a level of support here, right? So it does seem like it's choosing death so far. It does seem like it's going down. It looks like it might test the 50 MA here and the 200 MA, which again, like we said, is the area of value. You know, coincidentally also very close to the 21 MA on the 1 hour chart, right? So the 21 MA is at 373.66, which we're about to touch here, right? So this is why you're seeing it stopped in its tracks here instead of just going down all the way to, you know, test the 50 MA and the 200 MA, right? So again, still waiting here. Let's see. Once it hits the 50 MA, 200 MA might take again a play for the bounce. So we'll see again with the tight stop loss. If it breaks the 200 MA, falls under it, then again I will get out with a small loss. So we'll see here. Be ready to take a play if possible. All right, so yeah, I think I'm good getting something here if I can. I just placed an order, SPX November 3810 call for 1.6. Let's see if it fills, and it just filled. Cool. All right, so okay, again, remember guys, this is just a quick scalp, quick in, quick out. If it's invalidated, then again I will get out with a small loss, you know. So we have to wait and see what happens here. John Paul is asking, what do you see coin doing? Would you do anything? Okay, so let's see what coin is doing here. I actually have not checked why coin. I know coin missed, but I don't know why it ran up. I'm guessing guidance. I don't know if anyone can confirm that or not, but I'm guessing they had good guidance or they announced some crazy, you know, like product launch or something like that. They must have had something right, like heavy during the meetings call, right? The earnings call. Otherwise, they wouldn't run up on nothing because their numbers were pretty bad, right? So they had a decent miss. So let's see here. Wow, coin just giving back, you know, the majority of its gains, right? Which is good, right? Again, you know, I know some people were in puts yesterday. That makes sense. And we saw it going down all the way down here, you know, started to make its way down. Now, of course, you know, this is to be expected. Just, you know, profit takers taking some cash off the table here. You know, they had the calls, you know, or their shares and they're getting out. You know, it makes sense. Uh, let's see here. Crypto is saying because I bought puts yesterday, that's why it's green. Yeah, sometimes it does feel like that. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes it does feel like that. Like the market just plans to do the opposite of what you're doing. To me here, it just seems that coin is moving with the market at this point. It does not seem. Again, earnings were pretty bad, and I don't know why they went up. I don't know what the nature of the announcement, but from what I'm seeing here, the big pop and then the big drop, it does seem to coincide with whatever the market is currently doing. So it does seem like yeah, just moving with the market. So I wouldn't really touch coin right now. It does not seem like you know, like again, it's they have nothing going on. Like I don't think we see relative strength on coin, you know, because they missed. So it's not gonna have relative strength to the market or anything like that. It won't be a play that we can, you know, do on the side here. Seems to be just, you know, like up and down with the market, you know. So that's to be expected. Apple is down a lot, by the way. Apple lost the 140 level that we were speaking about. It's now down, you know, almost 1%. And this is kind of critical and very important. The market, Apple being down is most definitely not a good sign, right? So let's see here. Angelique is saying check Netflix. Will do. Will do right after Apple here. All right. So Apple just basically chose death right at the open, just complete huge sell-off right at the open here. uh Very interesting. I think it might go back and test the 140 level. I think, at the very least, go back and test the 140 level, which is around the 200 MA, right? 139.6. So I think we might get that here. Neo just going absolutely nuts. And the reason for that, guys, is China had an extremely bullish market today, right? Everything Chinese was just popping off like crazy. So you'll see Neo and Baba up pretty much, solely off that. Netflix is a little bit green here. You have your semis green. Nvidia doing a little bit more better than AMD, right? So let's see Netflix here in our communications. Oh, Netflix ugly, right? So Netflix is heading more towards filling the gap down than it is filling the gap up. So, if you've been following us yesterday, like I said, there's two big plays to be had on Netflix on the way up and on the way down. But definitely not a bullish sign for Netflix here, being down that much, right? So especially the whole market is kind of up with the exception of Apple. Again, could be fear from Apple. Apple is kind of the market leader. It kind of does dictate what the market does here, right? So to be expected. I wouldn't call this crazy, right? So okay. So TradingView is being exceptionally slow here for me today, so I'm just gonna reload. And it does look like it's still holding the 200 MA. So I wouldn't go out of my lotto calls here, right? So gonna be, of course, very critical point for it, because if it is unable to bounce and start making its way up again, then yeah, I'm out calls. I'm done there, right? And so far it's not showing any kind of strength. The move up got eaten up very, very quickly here. All this stuff honestly doesn't make much more sense to me. Like I said, the job report was nothing really to sing home about. I really don't get the big jump, and to me it just seems, like this should have been a red kind of day, and which is like, honestly, this looks like where it's heading here, right? We're about to lose the 200 MA on the 5 minute, right? Could be profit taking, or like I said, or could be a one huge trap, which is, again, seems to be the case kind of so far here a little bit. So we're gonna have to be careful here. I will not be adding to my calls position here yet. If anything, if I find that we're losing this, then yeah, good, I'm done, I'm out. If it goes up, cool, we already have our lotto calls, and we'll be cashing those out soon. So we'll just be waiting. Alvaro saying, for me too, TradingView. Yeah, TradingView has been very laggy lately. I don't know if anyone uses the app for TradingView, but when I go home when I'm not in the office and I use it to check stuff, man, it is an absolute disaster. It is super slow. Like, shifting from stock to stock just takes ages. They really need to do something about us. Like, this looks to me like their servers needs an upgrade. Looks like a lot of people are using it, and it's unable to handle the current load. So it does seem like, I don't know, something that they need to really take care of here. So okay, so it does not seem that the SPY wants to go and test the 200 MA here. It kind of blew through the 21 MA, so we can expect a possible retest of the 21 MA. CryptoPanda saying Apple does look bad, though. Indeed it does. It looks very bad. It does not just look bad. It is like death level bad, right? Look at this. It's just like absolutely horrible. Let's find Tesla here. Citizen says Road Coin DTE puts from 13 down to 6 down. Good day. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Well done, my man. It's a great job there. Nothing better than just opening your account in the morning and making some green. Really kind of sets the tone for the day for you. I wasn't able to have this feeling today, though. Opened up to red. But you win some, you lose some. It is what it is. You can't let the losses get to you. It's just it's one of those days, and you just work hard to make it back. So yeah, Apple looks absolutely horrible. Like, the bleeding may have stopped a little bit here, but it does look like it's forming a bear flag. If it's unable to go back and test 200 MA, it's gonna be a pretty damn bad day for Apple, and obviously pretty damn day for the market. I'm interested to see what VIX is doing, right? So what is VIX doing here?
VIX still pretty damn red, right? So it's not really reacting much to the big sell-off that we had right at the open. It seems to be okay with it. Still below 25. Not really a fantastic sign here. I mean, it is a good sign if you're in puts. Sorry, if you're in calls. It does seem, again, people are still not hedging, or they're hedged enough. I don't know. Maybe they're way too hedged. I don't really. I mean, this is the only thing I can think of that they just like. They already like. We have so much spy puts. We're good. We're cool with that. All right. So finally, trading view kind of woke up a little bit here, and yeah, we get. All right. So we're testing the 25 level here, which makes more sense, right? This is a more appropriate reaction to the big drop that we're getting in the market. QQQ not looking so hot, right? SPY not looking so hot either, right? But SPY is still hanging out around that level, right? Still hanging around the 200 MA. So let's see here. Is it just me and Alvaro? Is anyone having issues with TradingView? For those of you who use TradingView, is this like, is anyone having issues with it? This is like absolutely slow. Like this is like, I don't know. We kind of want to be like jumping from stock to stock here today, right? We want to be able to gauge the market. Like this is not a great sign for you guys. Anyway, okay. So some life being blown back here into the SPY. Looks like it's holding the 200 MA for a little bit, but going for the 50 MA test. Will it break through? Will not break through? We're going to test this 347.3 level here. Again, this is again, that would be yesterday's high, so definitely a very critical level here. We spent a lot of time around this level here pre-market, so it's not an inconsequential level. It's definitely something to look at, definitely something that will come into play. So we'll see what it does once it goes here, because again, I think this might set the tone for the day. If it goes here and tested it a couple of times and it's unable to break through, there's a very, very decent chance that we just like either chop around in this area of value that we're talking about, or it just keeps going down here some more. So it's going to be interesting. If it breaks through and starts going above this level, then yeah, things will be again a little bit bullish. So we're going to have to wait and see here. So all right, again, yeah, SPY starting to look kind of decent now, right? So right now SPX is almost 3045. So again, this after the big sell-off, of course, people will get in and start buying. So it is possible, that it's just that. This is the only reason why we're getting, this little pump here, is again, everything sold off too much. Everything became too oversold. So the $1 million question is do people step in here and push this thing, a lot more higher than it did? Or, is this it? Is this it? Like, is this the best that we're gonna get today, the highest that we're gonna get today, and it's just like a choppy or a down day? So we're gonna have to wait and see. But then again, I will reiterate what I said this morning. I really don't understand why we're moving up here. It makes no sense to me. But hey, the market decides what it wants to decide. The prod is asking, what level would SPY have to break to buy puts? The low of this, I mean, obviously the low of the day could be a play here. So if it breaks the low of the day, you can scalp it all the way down to 371 level, right, with your stop right above the 50 MA. So that could be a possible play here, right? So that would be one put play. And obviously, of course, longer put play would be to just break the pre-market low, which is very close to the pre-market to yesterday's low. So I would say if it loses 369, this area here, I wouldn't go in short immediately here in this region. I would wait to see it break yesterday's low. I think that would be a more consequential level, right? So right now is probably a more important level to look at here. Like I said, this yesterday's high and pre-markets, the most of the time where we spend the pre-market. So this is going to be very important. So we're a little bit above it now. Let's see if we are able to just hold this level here, or we're going to get smacked back down. That will be the $1 million question here. So we have to wait and see at this point. So SPY again up almost 1%, and at that very consequential level. So if we're able to break this through this properly, we can see big, huge candles going up here again. Now, of course, if we can consolidate above this or just open above this, when we start getting in this area, the next level here will be, of course, the opening high slash pre-market high here. That will be, of course, the next level of resistance. And if we are able to break through that level, I think the next test here and the next level here will be the 50 MA on the 1 hour chart, which would be 380, right? So that will be on the chance that we keep going up higher. That will be definitely our next level of resistance. So we have two levels to look at for now. Okay, so we're just gonna have to wait and see, right? You just have to wait and see. All right, but again, this, I wouldn't classify this as bullish or bearish yet. Again, it can keep going up here. If you look at the 1 minute chart, we have the 50 MA right at a 375.2. Now, unlike these higher time frames, of course, we can definitely see 1 minute MA is getting just sliced right through like they were nothing. And this is why I stopped trading. I don't know if anyone is still here from the very early days where I used to post on the 1K to 10K challenge that I had, where I used to post stuff on Reddit. I used to mostly trade QQQ on the 1 minute chart. But the reason why I stopped is that, right? It's just like, it is, I would say it's unreliable. It's very easy for you to get like faked out or freaked out very quickly here. So we're gonna have to wait and see. So we have 1 minute for this candle to close almost, and the $1 million question is, does the next candle open up here or before, right? So we saw a test at the 200 MA, and then we saw a rejection at the 50 MA, and then we saw another test at 200 MA, and it held well. So that's definitely bullish, right? 200 MA held twice. That's good. We see a bounce off slicing through the 50 MA. That's also good. And now it's trying to go up, through that resistance. So we're seeing bulls here really trying to push this through. Okay, and again, looks like we're gonna get to the 375 again, the 50 MA here. Yeah, 375.17, right? Looks like this is the level where that's gonna just stop us here for a second. So let's see here. All right, nice. Yep, as you can see here, tested the 50 MA and stopped at it for a little while, right? Again, it's gonna need more volume to push through this thing here. And if it does, if it succeeds, if it's able to break through the 50 MA here in the 1 minute and this candle here, then we can see a very big candle taking us up all the way to the 50 MA. And look, the bulls did succeed. Like, we have 3 seconds till the next open. There you go. And the bulls did succeed to put us up here in this level, which is above the 374 support, which is good, right? So now we're in a good place. Even this might go down a little bit here, which is that's fine as long as we consolidate above this area here. That's definitely bullish. Could be a sign to get in some calls, right? So but we need it to hold this support here, right? We don't want to see it slicing through this and unable to go back here up about that support. That would definitely be bearish, right? So just a few things to keep in mind. All right. David Goldstein is asking, where are you at in the 3K to 100K challenge? It's actually 2K, and I'm back down to 5,000, right? So not so good. It seems like this is my hard resistance here. This is the second time I lose, gains above 5,000. So yeah, it looks like this week is not my week for going above it. I don't think I'll be able to break through this week. Let's be honest here, right? I don't want to take stupid trades and go below that level. So I think this week gains will probably be 0. Unless we strike gold here, right? Unless the lotto calls I have so far here, really start paying off, then in that case, that'll be a possibility. Just give me a second, guys, because my dogs are going nuts. Let me just see what's up. All right, I'm sorry about that, guys. All right, so the dogs are cool back again. Yeah, So I was talking about the challenge. So like I said, yeah, we have a hard resistance here at the 5K level. Not the best thing, but hey, we'll see. I'm not gonna push my luck today. I think this is what I did yesterday. I really tried pushed it. You know, the expectations was the trend would go down, right? But it wasn't. It didn't, and this is probably why I lost. You know, whatever I recovered from before. So I'm just gonna take it easy, go with the flow here. Definitely gonna hope. I hope just like I can keep the 5K. If I can keep the 5K for this week, so I'm not lower this week than I was last week, then I'll be okay with that. That'll be absolutely fine, right? So yeah, still waiting here to see what happens. Again, you can see here. And this explains a lot, right? So if you guys are looking at the 5 minute chart and you're wondering, so where does it stop? Why does it keep consolidating, right? You can see here on the 1 minute chart very clearly that that is dealing with the 50 MA, right? So it's testing, retesting the 50 MA here, right? And this is why you get all this choppiness here. Equates the candle not moving much here, right? So this is why I always say it's always really a good sign, a good idea for you to have multiple time frames, on different charts. So you can definitely see here that, hey, this thing is bouncing and going up, right? And and then you can see we go up all the way here. So it's right on the 200 MA on the 1 hour chart, which is again as expected, right? So this was our expectations. We said at the beginning of the stream that, hey, 200 MA is not a level that you simply slice through just like that. And of course, we had this big doji candle here with the body right in the middle of 200 MA. And this so far is shaping up to be another doji candle here. So the $1 million question is, can it go through? Can we slice through this? Because if we're able to slice through this, then bullish. If we're unable to slice through this, I expect a big smackdown, right? I think it will get smacked down hard all the way down, right? Also, it's important to look at the 1 day chart here. So even if it does slice through this here, we had the 50 MA at 379.57, which probably coincides here at 380.2 with the 50 MA on the 1 hour chart, right? So again, you see here the confluence of MAs, which this is how you find something as major resistance or hard resistance, right? So you're not gonna slice through two major MAs on two higher time frames. It's gonna be a little bit difficult, right? So yeah, still wait and see mode here. I'm not really seeing anything crazy. Again, like I said, if we lose this area of value here, and we are still within the area of value that we defined at the beginning. If we lose this area of value, again, start dipping below, I'm out of my lotto calls. I don't need them anymore. It's way too risky for me, right? Does not necessarily have to just like go nuts here, but if it loses the area of value, I'm gonna get out with a little loss, then just holding and hoping for the best, because if that's the case, this might shape up to be a chop day, which is not what you want to see, right? If it's a chop day, this is definitely not what you want to be seeing now. And it does look here like it's, like if we just pull back here and look at the structure that we have here, the formations that we're having here, right? This does not strike me as a market that knows where it wants to go, right? So it had a very big drop and then a very big jump up, right? And then it jumped up some more and then it went down a lot, right? And now it's kind of recovering it. And I don't know, this to me seems like very all over the place, right? This does not seem to me like a market that really knows what is going to do. This seems to me like a market that's really trying to take profits as quickly as they come because they're very unsure about what's going to happen to them, right? So not the best of signs here. Me personally, as soon as soon as we have certain levels, I'm going out. So for example, if we're able to hit the 377 here, then yeah, I'm gonna start cutting my calls or trimming them, probably just cutting them all together, because why risk it, right? Like, why risk it? I don't know if it's gonna go up more or not. Same thing applies here, because again, like I said, it's still struggling. Like look, this is starting to become a level that's a little bit hard for the SPY, a mini resistance, if you will, a small resistance, right? So a small resistance here, right? And it's gonna have to figure out, you know, if it is able to, you know, blast through it or not. So that'll be $1 million question here, something just to figure out, right? Okay, so it looks like it wants to go down. Looks like it's choosing death, right? And what you don't want to see here if you're into calls, right? You don't want to see a hard rejection because this is a very big possibility, especially that you're right at 200 MA, right? So you don't want to see a hard rejection which just smacks this right down. You will see it slicing through the support like it was nothing, and you know, stopping at one of these two MAs. It'll be a very big red candle down if it's just like, if it's really unable to handle this 200 MA level here, right? So either it drops slow, that's fine, but you see big rejection, it's definitely not a good sign. Definitely not a good sign. All right, here. So while SPY does its thing, right? No need to keep watching it. Let's go look at what everything else is doing in the market, right? So obviously the VIX fell down some more, made even a new low, which is nice, right? It's nice if you're in calls. Sorry about that. Looks like the VIX here is down at 24.5. Now the question becomes here, is 25 4.5 a major level? By the way, interestingly enough, remember the two, every time we keep speaking about these two trend lines that we draw here, this is the one day chart, right? Look at this, look at where the VIX is heading, right to our trend level here, right towards it, right? It can't help it. And look at this, on the one day it seems like it's just like a slow descent, right? Just right, a slow descent right towards the trend line. Okay, and the last time, like, we got this, it hanged out at the trend line a little bit, rejected, fell through, and then just, you know, went way back up again, right? So this is definitely a possibility, not nothing that we can count out. It is very important, I would say, to keep this level in mind as we approach it, because we don't know what's going to happen. At the very least, it will stop VIX in its tracks for a while here, right? So in this case, it stopped VIX in its tracks for 1, 2, 3, 4 days. 4 days, the VIX was just unable to go, you know, up or down, just consolidating because of this trend line, right? So something to keep in mind here. So VIX down to a lot is a lot. Like, it's a lot. 3% is a lot, guys. Like, it's really a lot. So let's see. Hopefully this is translating into bullish momentum here. Hopefully this is pushing, you know, our SPY a little bit here, you know. Trading View, you suck. You absolutely suck, bro. I'm easily going through other things here, so you know, I can easily go through this. It does not seem like it's slow to me. It just seems like Trading View itself specifically is being slow, which is not a good sign here, right? So again, it's the same thing. It does seem like this area here, another rejection. We want to really start seeing it break through this level. Otherwise, it's gonna become you know, a major problem here. So we're gonna need to see a break, and you can see this clearly here, more clear on the 1 minute. Look at this, 375.84 for some reason seems to be, you know, you know, the level where the bears are like, nope, no, this is too much, this is too much, I'm sorry, like, no, right? So we don't know why, but we just know that it's happening, right? So we're gonna keep an eye on this level here. And again, look at this 200 MA right underneath the support here, 21 MA, the 50 MA. We really don't want to see it losing all these. It slices through these. It's not going to be a good look, right? We're just going to have to take the loss in that case and just move on, because yeah, it might be you know, one of those days. So we're going to, again, still have to wait and see here. All right, so we had a look at the VIX, which seems to be going down even more, 3.32 now, right? AMD doing pretty damn well, right? 2.6 almost, and Nvidia doing even better, 4.3. Just crazy. MU not doing bad itself. Look at that, 5.7% almost, right? Semis are having one hell of a day, and I'm sure this is all like maybe on the back of the China, right, moving up. I mean, I don't know why. Maybe just a force of habit, but like, yeah, like AMD semis are doing exceptionally well today. Tesla, in case if you're wondering why Enphase is down a little bit, it's because like it's really been running the past few days. I don't know if you've been noticing or not, right? Tesla here at 2.2, just like absolutely nutty, just crazy, right? Huge run. NIO, of course, we spoke about that. It's running off the China news and all that, the market, you know, all the stuff. Chinese market opened up like pretty damn hot. Sorry, closed off pretty damn hot, like really hot, right? So that's something. Holy wow, guys, Apple made back all its losses. Wow, that is crazy. What it just what look at that. I mean, not all of it. Like, it was pretty damn green in the open, but like it went back to zero, right? This is bonkers, right? So it was down pretty bad here. And again, exactly as we predicted, like I said, it needs to go up and test the 200 MA. Now, if it hangs around in this level, this is fine as long as everything else is pushing the SPY, right? At least Apple will not be dragging us down. So it's okay if it wants to hang around this level here. Ideally, of course, it breaks through the 200 MA and just keeps going up some more, right? But yeah, looks damn wow. Look at this huge volume came in Apple out of nowhere, right? Huge volume coming up, which of course, Apple is sort of a market leader, so this of course coincides here with everything else getting a lot of volume. And let's see our SPY here. What is it doing? Yeah, looks like the SPY went up a little bit as well here. Looks like it finally got rid of that level, possibly. And this is why we could be seeing it here, Yeah, looks like I said, once we break through this level, we'll get a big candle, right? And looks like it's doing well here. So we might be going here for a V-shaped recovery, which would be pretty damn well, especially that we got our SPY puts, calls, sorry, on the drop. So that would be cool, we'd be getting out in that case with, a little bit of a profit, a little bit of a nice profit. So hopefully that turns out to be the case, right? Again, if we are able, like I said, if we are able, look at this sexy 1 hour full body candle on the 1 hour, right? And if we are able to continue this momentum, if we're able to continue this pressure and push through this support here, this resistance here, we can definitely start making our way to the 50 MA on the 1 hour chart. And the 50 MA on the 1 hour chart is 380, right? Again, major psych level, right? We all know on the SPY 380 is a level that has been brought up, a lot in the past couple of months. It always served as a major level of resistance, a major level of support, depending on where the market is going up and or down. But we're definitely seeing some bullish, action here. So it's a good thing that we got these calls, yeah, again, AMD, really pushing the semi sector, really pushing it. Tesla up a little, not too much, because when we looked at it before this big candle, it was 2%. Now it's 2.4%. Nothing crazy here. We're not seeing crazy movements on Tesla. So yeah, looks again, yeah, it's not really moving with the market that much. Looks to me here like just little pushes. Let's see here. Okay, Apple pulled back a little bit, right? Because when we last looked at it, it was 0.3. Now it's 0.12. Looks like it's still struggling with the 200 MA, right? Looks like the 200 MA is gonna be a level, right, where it's gonna take a minute for it to start doing stuff, right? This does seem to be the case here, right? So yeah, looks like it's taking a breather here, just in case. So we'll see. Okay, so I just placed an order to sell one of my calls just in case it hits, in case we can get something out of it. That would be cool. If not, hey, no worries. But in case if it hits our support, I want to get out. I don't want to be, because I don't think it will sorry, the resistance, I don't think it will just slice through that resistance. I think it might take a minute, so I don't want to hold through that chop. If we get a nice big candle, something that pushes up our premium, yeah, see, this is what I was talking about. So my hope here is that we get a nice full body candle, just smack through this level here and then reject. You don't want to see this stopping in its tracks here, right? So it can chill out here for a bit, but you don't want it to hang out too much. Why? Because you don't want to see it making a lower high, right? So if you have a lower high here, that is definitely not a good sign. You don't want to go that route, right? You don't want to play that game, right? Where you're worried now, whether we're making lower highs, lower lows, all that stuff. This is not where you want to be at, right? So all right, so again, we're getting very close to our level, so prepare to sell, guys, if you got the calls with me. Yeah, looks like it's gonna hang out here for a little bit. I don't think it's gonna get like the big push immediately. Hopefully it does get it eventually. Look at that, the VIX just got absolutely murdered, down 4%. Holy hell, we're almost down to 24, guys. This is, yeah, this is like the VIX is just like, I don't know. People are like, fuck puts, you know. People are like, hell no, I don't want puts, you know, fuck puts. That's just like, that is nuts. That is absolutely crazy. I mean, again, unless people are sufficiently hedged, 100% possible, it is a possibility that people are just sufficiently hedged and they're cool, they're happy with what they have now. A realistic possibility could be is that people might be bullish, and I would not, again, categorize. And remember, a couple of days ago, you can go back to the stream and see what I said. And I think I said it in Discord too. And I said, overall, we have not lost our bullish momentum. Overall, right? Remember what I said, guys? I said overall, we have not lost our bullish momentum yet. Why? My reasoning for that was as we were making lower high, right? Lower high, right? And then we got over here. At the time it was still here, so I said, hey, you know, again, this is an equal high, right? So we broke down a little bit through it and then we pushed back up. So again, the $1 million questions would be is, if we see this, if we see it, for example, shooting up all the way to the 50 MA and then going to the 50 MA and stopping here, okay, then we're officially in bullish, in bearish trend, right? Officially, the trend has shifted and we're officially bearish. Why? Because that would be here lower low officially, and then this will be a a lower high, right? And then we probably go down and make an even lower low, because we know the market does not move in straight lines up and straight lines down, right? It's phases, right? It's levels. So this does seem to be the case here. This does seem to be how you know, it's gonna go. So I would say, you know, overall for like for us to continue the bullish trend, even if we get like a 3% day today, it's not going to be enough. We're going to need to see the break of this high here from last week, which is going to be a not so easy task to do. But if we hit the 50 MA and stop here and start making our way down, this is 100% definitely a very bearish from a structural point of view. We can definitely see, you know, this happening and still be in bearish trend. So we're going to have to wait and see. Right, structure really helps with these things, so just some things to keep an eye on. Yeah, looks again. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. See, this is what I was saying. We don't want to see this, or at least you want to get out before this, right? Where it goes up here and then gets smacked back down. Doesn't mean that this is invalid or anything like that. It's just like this is what always happens at big resistances or after a big run up, right? It's gonna take a minute, right? So pretty normal so far. We're just gonna have to wait and see. So let's just make sure we're seeing all the time frames properly here. So 1 hour does seem to be so far firmly above the 200 MA. Hopefully, you know, this candle is able to close well above it, right? Because if it does, it will give us momentum, you know, for to move more towards 50 MA on the next candle. This is definitely a possibility here. So just something to keep an eye on. VIX recovering just a tiny little bit, nothing to be worried about either. All right, so Omega Line is asking, are you in anything? I am. I have like I said at the beginning of the stream, or throughout the beginning of the stream, I added a few calls, small, very small size, same day SPX. They were just lottos, right? And I'm very close to cutting them. So you know, just something to keep in mind here. Worth to play calls right now? No, the safer play is to wait and see if we break this level, if we break the high of the day or not. If we break the high of the day, yeah, I can see definitely calls being a play. But for now, why risk it? Like, where would you place your stop, right? Like, think about it. Like, if you play calls and it fails, right? Where is the next logical place to play your stops, right? That would be around this level of support here, right? And where is the next logical place to take profit? It would be around this resistance level here, right? So your risk to reward is pretty damn horrible in this case, right? So I wouldn't risk it, honestly. Like, safer play, wait for it to break above here, consolidate, then get in some calls if it does. If it doesn't, then you know it's gonna chop here or go down. So you know you haven't lost money, but we're just gonna have to wait and see at this point. All right, so Tesla making a decent, this is a decent move on Tesla now, 1% since we last saw it. Saw it almost at 3% here. Apple also decently pushing this up here. Let's see where it is in relation to the 200 MA. because I think this would be a major level here. And remember, guys, what I said this morning, right? I said it will go up and test the 140 again as a level of resistance instead of support, and this is exactly what it's doing right now. Again, like the 140 level is a pretty damn major level for Apple, right? It is this area here. It's not gonna be something that it just like goes just like that. Like eventually it can. We can see, of course, Apple well below 140. I'm not saying that won't happen. I'm just saying it does not happen like immediately. It's gonna take a few days. And looking at the chart, this does seem to be the case, right? So yeah, it seems to be a little bit. It seems to be unable to go above the 200 MA so far. I think if it's able to make it above the 200 MA, Apple might just start making up all its losses from from the open. This is definitely a possibility. If it's able to properly close above 200 MA, we're gonna see a pretty damn move here. And looks like Apple here like is getting some volume. Looks like the bulls are really trying with this one. AMD also a very nice push up, right? And of course, this all makes sense that it would coincide with a move in the SPY, which does seem like what we're getting here so far. So let's see. Oh my god, TradingView, you suck. You absolutely suck. You suck. All right, so another test here around the highs, right? Around the high of the day and the pre-market highs. Another test here. This level, like I said, is gonna be pretty damn important. Of course, since I'm in calls, I really hope we just blast through this level right now. This will be the ideal scenario here for me, right? And looks like we are. Looks like we're getting close to doing that. So that's pretty cool. And I got a fill, right? So booked some profit. I still have some some calls here. So I'm still playing calls. But of course I trimmed because it's so very important to stay book your profits on a day like this. But definitely a very good sign for things to come. Definitely very, very good signs. So let's see here. Again, the ultimate hope here, like the ultimate target for me today, and I'll be very happy if we get that, is if we hit 380, which is the 50 MA, I'll be very damn pleased with that. But so far things are looking good and bullish. We're not out of the woods yet. Again, this is not a clean break. We need for this to break above and consolidate. It can consolidate as long as it's consolidating above this level. Hey, fine by me, right? You do you consolidate as much as you want above the level, right? But what I do not want to see is I do not want to see it unable to break through and just getting smacked back down again. In this case, we'll be consolidating under the level, which while not necessarily 100% bearish, definitely more bearish than it is bullish. So you don't want to be in those scenarios, right? So we have a candle open above this here, which of course will probably be taken down a notch. So let's see here. All right, very nice. Let's keep going. I'm gonna place my next trim here at 5, right? So I sold my first one at 4. Next trim here will be at 5. Hopefully I'm able to get it. Hopefully we keep pushing some more here. Yeah, no, I didn't expect that. Yeah, that makes more sense. I was hoping this candle will be a little bit bigger and I get a fill of 5. But hey, it's okay. It's okay. It is what it is. So of course it's making the worst case scenario. We just made a higher high here. So at least one check in the bullish column, right? So one check here. That's fine, right? And VIX does still seem to be pretty smack down here, so that's nice. Let's see what people are saying. Cision coin struggling to maintain 60. Again, like I said this morning, I don't understand why coin is up. Was it guidance? Did they announce something big is going to happen? I don't see how they would raise guidance. It doesn't really make much sense to me. Like with everything that's going with crypto and with them, it makes zero sense that we'd see a guidance increase. But what do I know? I'll look into coin since a lot of people are in coin. So we'll find out what's happening here, but we just need to keep an eye on SPY for a second here. SPY wants to push through that level you mentioned. It does look like it, sir. It does look like it, right? And I really hope it does. Right, for the sake for calls here, that'd be pretty damn good, honestly. That'd be very cool. So fingers crossed that it does. Or at least gives me a fill, and then it's free. to keep consolidating or going down as much as it wants, right? So I wouldn't mind the fill at these levels, you know. Just go up here. Looks like I'm gonna get my fill. Nice, nice. Come on, come on, come on. Push it just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Come on. Don't be a bastard. Don't be like that. Don't be a tease. Don't be a tease. The worst thing you can do is be a tease. Just go up a little more. Just, hey, go away. Just a little bit more. Just a tiny push. That's all we need. Push. 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 Yay, we got a fill. Nice. We got a fill here, right? So that's pretty damn good. That's nice. So I still have one final call here left, but what I'm doing here now is called trading around the core, right? So I'm at all times, since I'm expecting a day that's trending up, I am at all times in a position, right? So unless I hit my ultimate target, which is the 50 MA, right? I'm always holding at least one call, right? So the idea is I get in on pullbacks and only on pullbacks, right? So this is where I load up, and then, you know, I sell on the way up, and I always have my core, right? That remains unchanged. In this case, my core is one share, right? So I started with three. I sold, one contract. So I started with three. I sold two so far. So I'm keeping my one, right? And this one I keep throughout my ultimate target, in this case 380, right? So at all times, you know, I'm not missing a big move, right? So here, right, so I sold. I'm out of two contracts. Why am I not getting on anything? Because I don't see a pullback. The only time I will get here is if it runs up and then starts consolidating, right? We've seen these days, right? We've seen these days a lot. Big run up, consolidation, big run up, consolidation, right? So as long as this is happening, like this move up here, an impulsive move up, I'm not interested in selling, you know, or I'm not interested in adding either. I'm just holding, I'm waiting, right? But if this gets, like, again, if then this ends here, this candle closes here, it's about to close in 50 seconds, and we just start chopping here, okay, so yeah, I can consider, you know, adding two more shares, right, and seeing what's up. I don't mind, right? So that's the trading around the core strategy, you know. That's and that's what I'm doing today. Wajid is saying, sorry, just joined. What's a good spot to buy calls and puts? No problem, Wajid. So we had our levels here. So the idea is that since we made a B-shaped recovery, as long as a 377.5 holds on the SPY, we're taking calls. If it is unable, it keeps chopping inside, then that's a whole different scenario. And of course, if it loses, you know, this level here and starts trending back down, we can possibly scalp some puts. So this is basically, you know, what we've been talking about. If we are bullish and things do seem bullish, if we keep staying bullish, ultimate goal for today is 380, hopefully more. I wouldn't say no to that. But yeah, these are the levels we're looking at so far. So this is what we've been doing here so far. Nothing less, nothing more. All right. So is this considered a pullback? Is this an area where I want to add? No, it's still testing this level as support now instead of resistance, right? I don't know if it's finally resistance or not, right? I don't know if it's finally support. So I don't want to mess with it now. What if it fails and goes down all the way back here? Possibility, right? So I don't know that yet. So unless I get a signal, I'm not adding more. I still have one contract which I am keeping throughout, you know, until it hits 380, right? Which would make my contract in the money, which would give, of course, which is another big payout on its own, right? But worst case scenario, I'm wrong, and this pulls back sharply and starts going down. Direction is no longer bullish. I already sold two contracts. I made some nice money off them, right? So I'm not too worried here. So this is basically, you know, again, for anyone who's just joining, this is basically what I'm doing here. I'm trading options around the core for now with these major levels in mind. How deep do you go into each trade? Can you define depth? Like, what do you mean, how deep? I'm not sure I fully grasp what you're saying. If you're asking like how much money, again, when you're trading around the core, percentage, yeah, when you're trading around the core, which is basically technical trading, right? You're just trading off the technicals. you trade all the technicals. So my stops are based on MAs and supports, since I'm on calls, and vice versa. My take profits are based on resistance and so I basically, like, what do we said that I said when we were here, I said I'm going to wait, and if it hits this level here, I'm going to start trimming, right? So regardless of how much that was, I trimmed. I can actually show you guys. I mean, like, it's not like I don't have my so basically I made I realized $170, and we had two contracts. So I think the full size was since our average was 3.6, so 3.6 times 3, so almost $1,000. So that was realized 10% in total, right? The idea here is to, again, accumulate as this thing keeps running. So to accumulate shares, accumulate moves. Overall on the position, we're up $300, right? So again, the idea here is, let me just show you one more time. So we're up $300, right? So if I close my full position right now, I realize everything, right? So I would have been up 30% on my position. Okay. Now again, the idea here is that my expectations is that this will go up to the 50 MA. I might be wrong. I don't know. This is just what I'm guessing. So I want to do this with minimal risk and maximum reward. So if I sold everything here on, let's say, this level here, and I waited for a pullback, what if it just starts running like crazy, right? So I missed it. And we know we get these type of days, right? So I don't want to miss it. So but again, what if it falls sharply down? I want to get out with minimal losses. Okay. So this is why I trade around the core. And when I'm trading around the core, right? See, something like this. When I'm trading around the core, I don't care about percentages. I'm not even looking at how much money I made. I'm just looking at levels here, right? So this is all I care about. Maybe Delta. Not necessarily. I mean, in a way, Delta, right? Because Delta would be the price. So yeah, so I would say kind of Delta, but mostly like supports resistance, right? And also, speaking of, like supports and resistance, again, I would I let it, like, I would not place my stop right at it. It would be just a little bit below A. And yeah, another thing, Apple about to make a big move down. Joey, or let's see here. Yeah, looks like Apple pulled back some. Probably rejected the 200 MA. So again, for the market, by the way, for the market to keep going up, obviously Apple going up would be a huge push. We definitely need, I mean, like, it would make night and day difference if Apple, like, reclaims all these losses and keeps going up, but not a must. We want Apple to be hanging around this level here. If it hangs around the 200 MA, fine. Let it hang around the 200 MA as long as everything else is going up, right? What we don't want is this, Apple just dragging the market down with it. This is not a good look. This is not what we want to see, right? So now Joey is saying Apple is making a move down. Not necessarily, my friend, right? Because remember what we said, testing and retesting. So it's still testing this 200 MA here. Can it make a big move down? For sure, 100%. No, right? Possibility. But not just because it lost it like this, right? We want to see here what happens, right? Will this candle go up and test it some more? You can see some consolidation below. Possible, right? You can also see a big move unless you get like a big candle like this, not necessarily like this, but like a big candle at least this size down. Fair enough. We can say like Apple can yeah, it's going down. But here, of course, we're still seeing it struggling with 200 MA. Overall, for the market, that is fine. That is fine, maybe. If it's stuck in this level, cool. As long as the market is moving up, right? If it, of course, breaks and goes up here, man, it's going to be like a 3% green day. Like, it's going to be pretty damn crazy. Wajid is saying, how do you use these levels and MA together? What's an MA? So MA are these lines. You see the green line and the 200 and the red line, right? And usually I also have the 21 MA, which for some reason is not showing up on the 5-minute chart, which is crazy. So it's showing up here on the higher time frames, but not the lower time frames. Trading View, get your shit together. Get your shit together, Trading View. Anyway, so yeah. So how do we use the 200 MA or the MAs? First, you asked what is an MA. MA is the average of the last X amount of candles, right? So the 200 MA is the average price of the last 200 candles. The 50 MA is the average price price of the last 50 candles. Okay, so in this case here, 200 MA, 50 MA act as supports or resistance, just like a support or resistance, right? So for me here, I'm looking. Of course, it makes sense. Think about it logically. If the current price is above the average of the last 200 candles, it's a bullish sign, right? It's above average. Same thing for 50 MA, same thing for 20 MA, and if it's below it, then of course it's bearish, right? So this is pretty much, you know, the idea behind the MAs, right? So if it's unable to reclaim MAs, it's just like the same idea if it's unable to reclaim you know, supports or resistance or stuff like that, right? So looks like Apple is taking a breather here. We're not seeing big huge candles down, so at least that's something. But yeah, it's still trying to figure out what it wants to do. Just chopping around here. Tesla looks good, 3.2% here. AMD looks pretty damn good at 4.5. Nvidia almost 6. That's very nice. SPY at 1.8. About to go to that 378 level, so that's nice. CryptoPanda is saying 378.3 is a strong level, equals 3000 on ES. That would make sense. Yeah, if it equals 3,800 level on the ES, then 100% is going to be a pretty damn hard level to crack. I would agree with you there, my friend. So and yeah, it does seem like yeah, it does seem here that we're consolidating a little bit above this level here. So this might be a good idea for me to add some, if possible, if I can get a good entry, right? But it's a good idea to reload here because we can see big moves, consolidation, big moves up, right? So where possible, I would like to add ideally. And of course, now here's the thing. So my ads, I hope in most cases that they are at a better price than where I last sold. Not a must, but again, this is just like ideal best case scenario. I'm not gonna look at my average. I'm not gonna be averaging down, right? Because in cases like this, again, I'm not gonna get my average. That's not possible. So that's you know, that's gonna be pretty damn difficult, but hopefully it's better. So I sold at 5, so ideally I want to get at a price below 5, right? So this is the idea here. Not a must. I would rather get any fill than not get anything at all, right? If I'm expecting the move is still valid, I'd rather get any fill, right? So just something to keep in mind here. Jeff is saying the VIX is very red. That's a good sign. So I got a fill at 4.3. So relatively speaking, that's pretty good, right? Since I sold at 5. So that's nice. Let's see here. VIX is very red. Yeah, it's almost down to 24, right? It might even get below 24, which is just like absolutely bonkers, you know? Just nuts. Wajid is saying, so confirmation to buy calls, for example, will be if it breaks pre-market high plus goes above the 200 MA. Okay, so I see you have multiple questions, so I'll answer them part by part. Not necessarily, my friend, right? So if it's above 200 MA, that's one bullish indicator, right? We always talk about confirmations, right? We want multiple confirmations, right? You see people online saying A plus setup or 10 out of 10 setup. I only get into 10 out of 10 setups or A plus setups. The idea behind those is very simple, confirmations, right? So confirmation in the terms that if I am, okay, currently, let's take right now as an example, we are above the 200 MA and 50 MA, one confirmation, right? So just a pretty simple concept, right? If I blindly took any trade right now, just closed my eyes, right, flipped the coin and started taking trades, bullish, bearish, doesn't matter, I have a 50-50 shot of being right or wrong, right? We can all agree to that. 50-50 shot. I could be right, I could be wrong, I don't know. It's a 50-50 shot, right? So my role here as a trader, my only job as a trader is to skew the odds in my favor, right? This is the best thing I can do, right? And by the way, what I'm explaining to you right now is a very important concept. If you know a guy named David Thorpe, he is a guy who was into gambling, but if later on went to do his hedge fund, he wrote a book about it. And this book, by the way, is what was, the guy is almost like credited with the Black-Scholes formula. He arrived at the Black-Scholes formula independently before they did, right? So the guy is like, he knows his shit. The guy is a crazy mathematician, right? Right, so okay, so since it's moving up here, we'll just put a pin on this and then we'll get back here. So again, next level of exit here for me is 379.5, right? This will be my next trim here. Okay, so again, with options, and the problem with options is that you can only guesstimate. You don't have an exact level. You can't place an exact, take profit, because different prices. You're using different assets here, right? So you can only guesstimate how much you can get, but it's important to keep an eye on it. So we're making a new high of the day, 100% bullish. I don't see it getting any more bullish than that. Looks pretty damn bullish to me, honestly. So at least we do seem to have some direction for the moment here, for time being. So we just have to wait and see. But for me, the next level here that I would take some profits would be a 379.5. Why? Because it's the next resistance, right? So yeah. So okay, back to what we were talking about here. Now the idea, again, David Thorpe is, again, the dude, like, genius mathematician, and this is what he wrote in his book. This was the idea, is that you want to push the odds in your favor, right? You want to see the market moving in your favor, right, as much as you can. So for me here, using this as an example, right, I want to increase my odds from 50-50 to a little bit more here. Okay, so what I will be doing is I look at the 50 MA, right? Hold on, let me see if this is an opportunity to get into more calls or not. If it's below 5, it is below 5. So, oh, don't you be slow, you two, come on. Okay, so I added one more here, and I'm pretty happy with that. So back to 3 shares, or 3 contracts in my case. So I'm happy with that. I'm not super freaked out about this big rejection here. That's fine by me. That does happen sometimes. Okay, so it could be a short that got squeezed, someone getting out of the short position, many things. I would cut my position if we are, start losing this level and going back down here. But till then, it's fine. I'm okay with that. But yeah, so back to what I was saying, how do we increase our odds, right? So we increase our odds by okay, so 50-50, right? So now that we are above 200 MA, so let's say now it's 60-40, right? I have something that tells me the market will go up some more. So now I'm 60% more sure. I have a little slight edge that we are above the 200 MA, so I might be right. The second confirmation would be that, okay, so we're also been consolidating above this level of resistance here, which is now acting as support. So now I'm 70-30, right? So let's also say that maybe the RSI, in this case, let's say it's not very oversold, right? So let's say it was the opposite. Let's say it was very, oversold and not overbought, right? So I would say, okay, that would be another confirmation. So now I'm 80-20, right? The more confirmations, right, the more confluence I can find, right, multiple things aligning to give me, the same idea, the same thing, the more I can be bullish, the more I can be certain of my play, the bigger size I can go in, right? But if I'm still close to the 50-50 level, right, then like, what's the difference really, right? I don't have, like, this is still sort of, I don't want to say gambling, but like, I don't have an edge. And if I don't have an edge, if I'm just guessing, right, just guessing based on gut feeling, I'm still 50-50. So in that case, I would take small size because I'm still unsure, right? What book it is? Hold on, let me Google it for you. I don't remember what it was called, but it was like, it's one of the, like, if you see any one of the big hedge fund people talking and they mentioned it, like, the dude is just a genius. Sorry, his name is Ed Thorpe, not David Thorpe. So Ed Thorpe. Yeah, Beat the Dealer. That's the name of the book. He wrote it in a long time ago in 1962. So I'm just gonna grab this here, and I'm just gonna go here in the Discord, and I'm okay. So this is the link in case anyone wants it. You can go to the Discord, and just in case anyone wants to read the book. But just like, it's an absolute, the guy is genius. I think he went on to start a hedge fund. of his own, and of course you can imagine like the gains were just like absolutely crazy in that hedge fund. And he consults with a lot of people. He helped a lot of people with a lot of things. So just something to keep in mind as well. Okay, so SPY pulling back a little bit here, right? Still consolidating, right? So hopefully it does not break through, fall out down a lot, hopefully we still get our push to 380, our ultimate level here. That is the ideal scenario, if you will. Ouch, look at that. VIX is almost down 5%. VIX is now flirting with 24. That is a scary outcome for VIX, right? Discord was crazy yesterday. Yeah, it's funny how one guy can just show up and just like wreak havoc. Yeah, yesterday we had our first, let's say, drama in the Discord. That was just like absolutely crazy. But hey, that makes sense, right? Like as we grow, right, you'll have these outliers, crazy people who come in, and just go wildly, like a racist in that case. Yeah, I did not wake up expecting to see that. That's just crazy. Speaking of just crazy, the trend line that I was speaking about, we are right on it. So we might possibly see here a rejection, right, or at least a bounce off, because if we slice through this, at least just for today, even, of course we're gonna come back and test it tomorrow, retest it tomorrow, because it's a 1-day retest. But yeah, I mean, like if we slice through this today, man, SPY is gonna go nutty, right? But this is something to keep in mind here. The VIX is approaching A24 is a super psychological level, right? And B, you don't want to see this, like, again, you don't want to see it, like slicing through that huge VIX level, just willy-nilly. So something to keep in mind. I think can you guys still hear me? Because just let me know if you guys can still hear me, because I hit the mic thingy. So okay, cool. So Anil is saying, lol, what happened? Just you can go to Discord and check it out. We're not gonna air our dirty laundry on YouTube. Jeff by Van Tarp, a book. Right, if you can drop the name, that'd be cool. I'm definitely interested, in it. Beat the Dealer. Yeah, the book is called Beat the Dealer. I dropped the link in the Discord, so yeah. And Anil is laughing here. Omega, David, we can hear. Thank you. All right, thank you, Omega Crypto, and David. Thank you for helping out. Okay, so SPY is still consolidating. So as long as we're consolidating here, I'm fine by that. I am okay as long as we're in this area here, a little bit above, a little bit below. Cool by me, right? As long as we're still holding it, right? So hopefully this is the consolidation phase before the big jump. Definitive guide to position sizing, how to evaluate your system and use position sizing to meet your objective. Holy hell, that is a long ass title, but it definitely does seem like something that I want to read. So I'm gonna copy paste this here, and yeah, I'm just, hold on, I need to bookmark this because it does seem like something I am definitely interested in reading. All right, bookmarked. Ban K-Tarp. I don't know him, but I love the interest. That's one long ass title. Okay, so let's see what's happening here. So SPY consolidating. We're seeing some red candles after we've been seeing some green candles. Not the end of the world. That's fine. Okay, so it does seem like everything else, of course, is gonna make sense. Of course, the whole market consolidates with it. Like, this is not rocket science here, right? Nothing crazy. Hopefully we see bull flag formations on everything else, right? So it is, let's see here. So again, some consolidation by AMD. AMD still has not broken its morning high, which is not bad. That means it has room to go up even more. That's pretty nice. Okay. 1 hour though, getting closer to being overbought. But again, you see here this right, this has been AMD for the longest time, so I wouldn't say it's a very valid measure. Let's see Nvidia on the other hand, that has been like pretty damn bullish here. so it doesn't have the stigma of failed earnings, behind it. Because yes, it did beat estimates, but at the end of the day, we know like after it was like pretty much reduced a lot, AMD. So Nvidia also consolidating here. Tesla looking good, back to 3.17 after being, up quite a bit. So we're seeing here, of course, some pullback slash consolidation on a lot of things. Right. Apple. Okay. Looks like Apple is deciding to pull down the market with it. See, this is what we do not want to see on Apple, right? This is not a good look. I'm pretty sure once we go back up and check the SPY, it's probably no longer consolidating. Yeah, this big candle here, not what you want to see. Yeah, Apple. This is Apple choosing violence here. Not a good look. Not a good look at all. Oh, yeah. That's definitely ugly. Oh, it seems like today actually is the ex-dividend date for Apple. So it looks like some people got paid. That would make sense, actually. Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. So if people got paid their dividends today, you might see people who just held Apple throughout today just to get their dividends so they don't miss on it. And now that we're past that date, they're just getting out. So that makes sense. Okay. But we're seeing Apple here drop down a lot, which is not good for the market, at all. This is definitely a very bad sign. I bet SPY got dragged down here quite a bit. I think it's down 0.2%, 0.3%. Which I wouldn't mind if this is just like healthy breather pullback for VIX. That's fine by me. Yeah, that's a nasty candle. See, times like this is where I might start considering like, hey, maybe it's time that I cut, whatever positions I have here, and that's it for my core. So we'll see. But if we see this starting to go trend down more, nah, I'm good. I'm done. Because that would be like a way too crazy drop for me. So not the worst candle here for the 1 hour, right? As long as it's able to maintain this big full body here, right? Not the worst candle from, a structural point of view for, honestly, it's not that bad. As long as we're able to maintain this, ideally, I would love for the body here to close, right around this level here, the area of, support that we've been talking about, because now support is no longer resistant. Sorry, it's resistance no longer support. So just something to keep in mind here. But ideally, this is what I'm looking for. Jeff is saying $200 book. Dude, you can find anything online for free. I'm not advocating, piracy or anything like that. That is very, very bad. But I'm sure there's cheaper versions somewhere. Just saying. Okay, so 37. So we're right at the 377 level. I don't mind testing it as like support, making sure it's no longer support and going back up again. I can live with that. If it starts consolidating down below, again, not the ideal scenario for me, not the ideal situation for me. This is where I start freaking out a little bit. This is where I'm like, might want to reconsider things. So, and it does look so far like it does look like it wants to have like this big drop candle, right? You guys know where it tests the 50 MA. Hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully it fails. Hopefully the only candle we get is a big one, pushing it right back above the support here. So this is a wait and see moment. Not much you can do. Just wait and see. So while we wait and see what the SPY does, let's see how everyone else is doing. AMD got smacked down a little bit, of course. Tesla kind of holding its own today, honestly. Like, what the hell is that? Musk says Twitter saw revenue slump as activist groups pressured advertisers. Okay. Okay. Cool. Anyway, Tesla. Yeah, looks like Tesla today is holding its own. Like this looks, neat here. Back to 3% or not. I don't know. Trading view is being stupid and slow. So, uh, 3.4. That's pretty cool. Apple. Apple looks like stop the bleeding for now. Looks like it. Oh, looks like Apple had a big fat candle going up. Only down 40%. That's cool. Okay, so this so far what we're seeing here from Apple and all the other stocks is okay, right? So not out of the woods yet, but okay, not the end of the world. Uh, yeah, this is unbearable how slow trading view is. This is not good. Like again, while waiting it to just update the way it just did right now, like the stock could have moved here. Good thing that we're recording this. If we end up like blowing up the account and losing the challenge, yeah, we're gonna start suing. Like everyone, we're gonna start suing TradingView, IKBR. We're gonna be like, he made me lose money, and I have it on video. It will be the definition of a frivolous suit. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, no, of course I'm joking. I'm joking. We're not gonna sue anyone. So anyway, yeah, looks like pulling back here a little bit. Not the best of signs. You ideally want to see a big candle. After a big drop like this, you want to see an equally big candle. In that case, that would be a nice healthy pullback. Now what we're seeing here, Tesla pulling back, Apple pulling back, AMD still holding, but Nvidia is pulling back. Let's see here. VIX. Okay, VIX does not care. VIX is still stuck to 24. It's man, I don't think people are buying puts at all. Crypto Panda saying we got your back. Thank you, Crypto. Thank you. We're gonna need those witnesses, and of course, there will be a nice healthy cut for anyone who comes forward as a witness. All right. So SPY looks like it's also stuck at 1.5. Oh my God, TradingView, come on. Why are you doing this? Why are you super slow today? There you go. Yeah, I'm not really loving the shape of this candle here. The prod saying, "What's your day job?" Well, trading is my day job, right? Because like this is for me, since I'm in Egypt, it is 5 p.m. actually now. So this is like towards the end of my day here. So it is trading is my day job. But I also own a company, a holding company that owns multiple brands, online brands. So we write about stocks also. So I have a news publication, two actually that write about stocks. One of them specializes on penny stocks and the OTC. The other one is just like everything else, large caps and futures, commodities, stuff like that. Also have under it, an agency, social media agency, media agency. So we also help public companies with, PR, investor relations, stuff like that. So that's another thing we do as well. So yeah, so like I'm in the office right now, and while I'm trading here, you know the kids are outside working. This is what I meant by the kids yesterday, because someone's asking if I have kids. I do not have kids. This is what I meant by the kids. I am getting to be an older man now. I'm almost 30, almost 31 as a matter of fact. Damn, wow. Okay, so almost 31. So yeah, relatively speaking, they are kids. That's what I meant by it. It was just a joke. But I do not have kids. But yeah, so this trading is what I focus on mostly at the day. But yeah, I also have other things like other income sources, in case trading does not work out. And of course, like I have a fallback career. It's a joke we used to make, that if I fail as a trader and I'm unable to make money, then I can always be a memologist for BuzzFeed. Just specialize in making all their little memes and stuff like that. So yeah, we have options. We have options. All right, so let's see here. Going up to test this main level of support here. So again, from a going impulsive move consolidation point view, if we can make it back up here, I'm cool. I'm not cutting anything. That will put me at ease. Definitely, I would rather us consolidating above rather than below. But if we're consolidating here, nonetheless, fine by me, right? As long as it's consolidation, cool, right? Sideways now is cool because, you know, if we start maintaining the structure, we're gonna get, you know, another nice leg, you know, leg up here, as long as we maintain this. And don't forget, we still have like 5 hours left in the day. Like we still have quite ways to go, right? And of course, we see here this, relatively speaking, this is not a bad close, not the best close. You don't want to see a wick up like this, you know, under a level of resistance, but at least it has a big body, so that's as something. Of course, we're seeing it still struggle here, you know, because of that close. We're not seeing, you know, that much confidence. We're seeing people testing, trying to check out, but not enough volume to push us up through yet. So hopefully we get a nice big push here. Again, for me, my exit, you know, and take profits for the new shares that I got will be at the 379.5 level. This is where I would take profits. So hopefully I'm taking profits and not cutting losses today. You know, fingers crossed. You know, hopefully this is the case. So yeah, but at this point it's a wait and see scenario. VIX not moving at all, right? Just, you know, waiting at 24, which makes sense if you think about it, right? So I'm just gonna show you here on the chart. Now I'm starting to dread actually going like from stock to stock. Okay, it's getting slightly better, so at least that's something. So it being here on the 1 day, like right on it, this makes sense that we see this here, right? Because again, this is the major trend line, and it makes sense that it consolidates here a little bit, right? So this makes perfect sense that we see this. This is why we're not seeing the VIX go down. It bodes very well that the VIX is not going up a lot, right? So I mean, it goes up a little bit here, fine, fair enough, but it's not going up a lot. It's barely going up. It's just consolidating. So this bodes very well for us that this is what's happening right now with the VIX, right? So let's see here. SPY, looks like SPY is making some moves. Is it? Is it not making moves? I can't tell. I can't tell because my trading view is super slow. Can't believe you're doing this to me, trading view, today of all days, and I've been a biggest advocate for your company. Shame on you, trading view. Bad product, bad product. Okay, please, there you go. Wow, that was slow. Okay, so looks like, yeah, looks like it tested and rejected. And of course, all that happened while we're just waiting here. So yeah, looks like it tested and rejected. That's a little bit of a hard rejection here, right? So we have to wait and see if it's able to hold its own or it just gives us the big drop candle here. So I would definitely say we're in a pivotal position here. You know, important moment that will decide whether we get a run, you know, continued run for the rest of the day, or, you know, it's one of those days, you know. And of course, you know, structurally speaking, again, not just consolidation and run up. So we can see here also an intraday lower high, lower low. So if we make we made you know, we had the high here, then we went down and made the low here, right? So we had a higher high here, right? So if we make a lower low all the way, like again, if it holds the 50 MA, then it's no longer impulsive move, consolidation, impulsive move, but instead we could be seeing lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, which is still a trend up nonetheless. So that could be something, but I would be very careful if it starts dropping down below these levels here. I would reconsider. I would get into more defensive positions, you know, start trimming, you know, start decreasing on my position, because we don't know how far this thing will drop here. But two possible bullish scenarios that could possibly play out. We're just gonna have to wait and see. But I really wish and hope that it does not lose this area here, right? So below 376 is not the ideal, you know, place for us to be. Apple below 1365 will take SPY with it. More caution here, possible. Let's have a look. Where's Apple now? At 1374. No, if Apple drops $1 from where it is right now, no, things are gonna be pretty damn bad for the SPY. It's already down $1.2. Look, can't like it had a very big drop here, so yeah, this is very bad for Apple. And you're seeing here an H from I don't want to call this an H formation. It's not an H formation, but this sure as hell looks pretty damn bearish. Like, come on, like it breaks this level here and it's game over, right? Like that's gonna be pretty damn bad. But yeah, I'm surprised that the SPY has not dropped, as much. Maybe it's delayed a little bit, but this is very bad. Like this is pretty damn bad. Like super bearish bad. Yeah, look at it, just keeps dropping down some more. Philip is asking, do you think VIX is depressed just because most people are waiting for CPI? Seems like coiled spring. I'm tempted to buy VIX instead of S&P. Okay, so first of all, buying VIX instead of S&P is a good strategy for sure. B, is the VIX depressed because people are waiting for CPI? Not necessarily. CPI is just a week out. If people are gonna start hedging, they're gonna do it now this week. They're not gonna wait that long here. I don't think the VIX is depressed per se. I think it's, like I said, either one of two scenarios here. Either A, people are sufficiently hedged already, right? So they don't need more hedging, right? They don't need to buy more puts. They're happy, with what they have. They're like, they hedged way too much before, right? So they're already prepared for the next big drop. They don't mind. Or B, is that and of course, like, it is possible that they're not prepared whatsoever and people will get like absolutely blindsided by this, in which case, like, the drop will be huge. Or B, people are not expecting a drop to begin with. They're just like, hey, this is I'm cool with this. I think this is fine. I don't think we'll be dropping anymore, and I'm happy with I don't need to get into puts, because hey, I think the job numbers, maybe that now that we're seeing quits, so I think this is fine. This is cool by me. I think CPI will come in not hot. I think we already peaked, so yeah, people are not just getting into hedges anymore. Don't forget, the 8th is midterm elections. Again, a very, very bullish time, right? So again, could be people are not hedging because they're expecting a big jump up on midterm elections. Another possibility, right? So all these factors together, just basically people not buying SPY puts and hedging their positions, could be a very, very good reason why the VIX is down, right? Apple below, yeah, we already spoke about that. Was fortunate from SQ today due to your post. Love the content, keeping up. Thank you, my friend. And congratulations on the winnings. I'm very happy you made money. Let's keep it up. Let's keep the momentum going. Let's go. All right, so what do we have here? So we're now faced with an important question here, which is, do we get some cheapies here for SPX, or is this a bad idea, right? So this is a very important question here. Let's go to SPY, where we have our lines drawn. I want to look at my lines one more time, but I believe it's sufficiently down to at least get one extra call, just to decrease our average a little bit. I don't think it can hurt. So I just go one SPX here. But let's see where it is at right now. So it is at the area where I don't want it to drop. 50 MA is creeping up though, which is good. Hopefully it holds it here. Again, the idea is hopefully that if we're not, and obviously, like, I don't think we're doing that anymore. Like, we're not doing impulsive move, consolidation move up. Obviously that went out the window, after that big drop. It's unable to reclaim this level here. So yeah, no more, none. So second, plan B is, again, higher high. So hopefully we have low, and then hopefully we have higher low, right? So higher low will be a good area to get in here, right, for the higher low, and hoping that it goes up and makes a higher high eventually, right? So that will be a possible play here, right? So but again, it's still a wait and see situation here, right? So we just wait and see. SPY 5 minute at 21. I wouldn't know, because again, TradingView, being the stupid shit charting platform that it is, has the 21 on some charts but not on others. So apparently now I can see it on the 1 minute too, but I still can't see it on the 5 minute. Yeah, I have no clue why. I literally have no clue why. But anyway, all right. So yeah, of course, like 21 minutes should be, with this kind of movement should be pretty close to the 50 MA. So that's good. Hopefully it holds the 21 MA. But for the most part, I'll be looking at the 50 MA here, right, for my final place to just settle down and make lower low. Because if not, if it's unable to make lower low here, then I don't know. I've run out of any bullish scenarios that we can possibly make here, to be honest with you. Like I don't know. We break the 50 MA, we're not making lower lows, then no, I don't see us getting like I see no bullish setup in that case. So it does look like it's heading down to the 50 MA here. SPY about to touch the VWAP. All right, let's see. Okay, so VIX up a little bit. Again, nothing too concerning here, right? So this is a normal pop, after everything that we've been seeing, right? So let's see here. Looks like the VIX bounced off the VWAP, so that's cool. AMD started to gain back some strength. That's nice. So is Nvidia. Tesla got smacked down a little bit here, but again, it's just like a smackdown with the market, so that's fine. Apple, yeah, Apple is the nasty player today, right? So Apple is the one really holding the market back, as it clearly seems. And I don't know, it seems like it's just people getting out because of the dividend, right? So, or of course, people are, like freaking out because of the factory shutdown. That is definitely not something to scoff at. It is very big news. And like I said yesterday, every day that passes by, like it makes the situation much worse. Apple made a new low of day. I mean, though, like kind of what is giving me hope is that the market is not dropping as crazy as Apple is, right? The whole market, right? So it is like Apple will stop dropping at a certain point and then bounce, right? So hopefully at least this bounce alone should be enough. Let's see here. On the news we have top economist El-Arian, which is, by the way, this guy's originally from Egypt. He's my homie. So deuces. Says high conviction calls over short swallow recession reminds him of behavioral trap from last year. So Alliance chief economic advisor noted economist blah 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 expressed skepticism on some of the high conviction calls that state a recession is likely to be short. All right, so he's bearish. Yeah, what's new? Who isn't bearish today? Right, everyone is like, death and mayhem. Bank of America sees big low coming next spring. Looks to small cap as 2020s continue to resemble 1970s. So this has been true actually. If you look at the IMW, which is like the SPY of the small caps, right? So IWM, sorry, the IWM has been a leading indicator for the past, like, I don't know, couple of months actually. Has been a very like important leading indicator. And if you look at it, I mean, like, I don't know why they're saying that, because like the IMW has been pretty bullish, and I just looked at it yesterday and it was bullish. So it does not surprise me that we're up today, since it does successfully remain a bullish indicator. So but I think they seem to think that meanwhile the firm highlighting the small cap names could outperform in the coming years. The clients argued that the result will need to see economic dip into recession before tighten cycle. Easy to pivot when unemployed 8% and inflation 3%. Much harder to pivot when inflation is 8% and employment is what? It's easy to pivot when unemployment 8% and inflation 3%. Much harder to pivot when okay. When inflation is 8% and unemployment 3%. Gotcha. Given this outlook, blah blah blah, sees it falling from its current levels, just above 3,700, giving investors increasingly attractive entry points as it drops. This includes potential for the index to fall to 3,000. Yeah, a lot of people are saying this lately, right? That we're gonna get to 3,000, and I'm not saying it's impossible. It is definitely a possibility, but it does seem like to be the worst case scenario for a lot of people. You know, 3,000 would be what, like another, I think 15% from where we are, which is quite considerable, obviously. But still makes me, again, it just gives me the same rationale that, like, if the worst that can go, like if I buy AMD shares, right? And I know the worst it can go, and these, by the way, are like what, 70% from the top or 80% from the top. So I buy 70% after it dropped 70 or 80%. I know it might possibly drop another 15% from where I bought. Worst case scenario, I know my absolute worst case scenario is another 15% drop. So do I want to risk it? Like, do I want to risk it, you know, in case like this is like, what if it reverses now? What if it does not drop down 15% the market? What if the market drops 10%? What if it drops only 5%? We can agree that it will drop, fair enough, but we don't know exactly how much it will drop, right? So you can't time the market. So I think, again, average costing down right now, right, into things, especially things that had earnings, right? So like Tesla or AMD, you know, I think is a very, very good strategy. If you're buying leaps, if you're buying things for, you know, long term, I think it's a fantastic strategy in my opinion. It's just my 2 cents here, you know, not financial advice, but all I'm saying is like, hey, this strikes me as a not so bad time to buy. Just thinking out loud here, right? So that's what I'd be doing in my Leaps account, honestly. You know, I already started buying, and I'm definitely will keep buying as it keeps going down some more. Because if it reverses, right, like imagine like the market is a day like today where you expect things to go down, and out of nowhere they just go up, right? So who knows? Who knows when the bottom is, right? Like I don't care who Bank of America is, they're not gonna predict the bottom. No one will, you know. So I don't know, seems too risky for me, and like a big missed opportunity, you know, just in case. Uh, Again, if I start buying, let's say I have $1,000, I buy $200 worth of AMD today, right? It drops down 5%. I'm gonna buy another $200 worth. It drops down another 5%. I'll buy $300 worth. It drops down 15%. I'll buy with the rest of the money. This way I averaged on the way down, right? And again, this is something I'm holding for like 3 4 years, 5 years maybe. And this way I got the absolute bottom, you know, because I kept average dollar costing down as it went by. So that will definitely be my thinking, you know, in that case. Hold on, guys, I need to turn on the lights. I will go for a quick smoke. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back, and it seems like we hit the 50 MA and just bounced right off it. Interesting. I wouldn't say exactly hit. It looks like people are pre-reacting to it. That's something. All right. So, yeah, for me, I would definitely start cutting if it goes below the 50 MA. That'd be it for me. My hope here is that, okay, so we're a new low here, and hopefully it bounces and starts shooting up back again. So this is the ideal best case scenario here for me, right? But in this case, like if it's unable and it breaks down below the 50 MA, then I'm really not seeing, any like what's the thesis then, right? Like what's the bullish thesis here, right? Like uh I understand higher lows, higher highs, that makes sense to me. Or, impulsive move consolidation, impulsive move, that also makes sense to me. But if it goes down here, we run the risk of actually losing all the gains from the morning. Might even be a better idea to switch into puts, as a matter of fact. So we're just gonna have to wait and see. $1 million question is that will it go back down and touch the 50 MA, because it didn't exactly touch it per se, right? That's always a possibility. Neo just absolutely beasting today here at 16%. Tesla 2.5%. Looks like it's holding 2% mark. Still struggling around the 220 level, which we spoke about, right? Because we said like this is sort of a major level for it. 230 is where like things get very bullish for Tesla. Like 230 is, where you see things start popping up hard. Apple recovering some of its losses, but not looking absolutely sexy right now, right? So Apple definitely not looking too hot. We want to see Apple again go up and try to, mess around with the 200 MA level. As difficult as that might be for it, since it's pretty damn far from it. Again, this strikes me more as bearish than it is bullish, even with this a little bit curling up here. It is possible that we see it go up all the way till here and then go down for a new low. Definitely a possibility. But yeah, not a very sexy look for Apple here at all, right? This does not give one much confidence. Amazon gave back a lot of its gains. Amazon was like 2.3%. Now it's only half that. Right. Microsoft, same situation here. Netflix down quite a bit, down 2%. But Netflix has been red since the beginning of the day. The healthcare sector is okay-ish, right? So a little green. Finance is popping hard, right? So of course off the SQ beat, and all that stuff. Finance looks like it's doing well. Retail mixed bag. Carvana, that piece of shit. Again, I reiterate what I said before. I don't know why this is not a penny stock. I don't get it. I don't understand how this company exists yet. I know they have good revenues. I get that, but it is a model much like Blue Apron and Uber, a model that does not make sense on paper. It is a company that is gonna have very hard time to become profitable. So I don't see it. Market cap is $2 billion. Again, like ask yourself this question: is Carvana a $2 billion company? I don't see it. I personally do not see it. Right? Horrible management. They're infamous for all their screw ups, very bad customer service, delays, and getting license plates to people who bought the cars. Again, basic stuff that they're unable to do properly. So that combined with that, is a recipe for disaster. Starbucks is up quite a bit. I think did they have earnings or something? But it's up 10%. So looks like it had an interesting day. Looks like Apple heading to 135. I would not be surprised, honestly. I would not be surprised if Apple heads down that low, right? Because like last time we looked at the chart, it looked pretty bearish. Yeah, it looks like Starbucks had some good earnings, so that makes sense. Wow, crypto is pretty damn bullish here. Right, so crypto back to the upper band of the channel that it's just been, cruising at. Dollar obviously took a big hit today, so we're seeing the euro and the pound doing well, so that makes sense here. Roku still down again, another company that that its existence didn't make sense to me. Uh, Deuce Ameo, I don't know if I'm spelling your name right, yo. That SPY just gapped down on the 1 minute. WTF? Yeah, that does happen actually. SPY does got gap down on the 1 minute. That does happen sometimes, but you will see it quickly go up and fill that gap. Like if it gap down, yeah, it will go up and fill it. But that does happen. You'll see intraday gaps on the 1 minute chart. It did that yesterday. Uh, you know, but yeah, definitely a possibility. You will see that happen. Like wow, Twilio. Oh my God, Twilio is down 35%. That is just like, that is nuts. We're talking billions of dollars here, just like wiped right off. The Twilio and its 65 upside going into Q4. Uh, Coin retesting 60 support. That makes sense. Look at that gap there, guys. Look at that. Just like, that's nuts. So they beat earnings. What did they do? What the hell did they do for this drop? Must have had like absolutely horrible guidance. Wow, they beat the top line. EPS 30% beat, and revenue 1% beat, but still within the range. Yeah, it looks like they probably had like some very horrible guidance. So yeah, that does make sense. Apple here, Apple very ugly, 1.66 down. That was what, like a 0.4% drop. Just yeah, look at that. This is what I was talking about. I was like, it can go up here and go down. Didn't even go up here, just went straight for it. Yeah, Apple looks pretty damn bearish here, guys. Not very inspiring. Tesla took a huge hit. Amazon took a huge hit. Semi is kind of holding their own a little bit. VIX moving up, which is the bounce that we were talking about. SPY falling. Yeah, that makes sense. The SPY would fall with everything that's going on now. Oh wow, that is a huge fall for SPY. That's what, a 0.5 drop. Yeah, wow, that is. Oh, okay, so I had an order waiting and it got filled. Damn, I wish I canceled the order. Yeah, I want to be cutting. I don't want to be getting into more SPY now. Fine, it is what it is. It got filled. It got filled. No biggie. Wow, like, yeah, see, this is what I was afraid of. Like I said, this is the worst case scenario. Big candle down. Yeah, this can trigger us, like, again, going down here, filling this again. This will be an inverse cup and handle, right? So you see the handle here, and this will be the cup, right? Which is exactly around the 200 MA level, right? So we can see an inverse cup and handle here forming. I don't know if you guys can see it, but like, that will be the handle, and this will be the cup, right? So yeah, that is a horrible look for the SPY. This is the exact opposite of what you want to be seeing. Very big drop here. Not good at all. Very bad. So yeah. Let's see here. Do we see SPY falling more today? Possible, unless we see like an equally huge candle right now. I can definitely see the SPY falling some more. This is very bearish. We saw also Apple, looking pretty bearish, so it definitely can add more pressure and push the SPY down. That's for sure. This mayor says, "See what I mean?" Well, yeah, I see it. Yeah, this gap here does happen sometimes. We can see it get filled right now. Gaps don't have to be. By the way, gaps form when there's a sudden, very big move, of volume in the like the asset itself. So like, this is why you get it on an open, because you have a collection of orders, from overnight people placing their orders and all that stuff, and it just like it collects, keeps collecting, and then just like, they all get filled at the open. So this is why you see the big jump. So this is the same thing that happened here, right? Look, this is a huge candle. This is what you see here. Just like, again, like, you see this gap here, but look, what is this? This is another gap here, right? Just a few, whoops. Just a few minutes before, right? Again, small gap here, right? So gaps are not uncommon on the SPY 1 minute. They do happen, right? Time for 0 DTE puts. Not the best play, not the worst play in the world. I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't definitively say that now. It is possible that it still bounces back here, but no, this is not remotely bullish. I'm not seeing. No, this does not look bullish at all. This looks pretty damn bearish. This looks pretty damn bad. I'm just waiting for it to go up a little bit here, maybe, so I can recover some of my, like exit, at a better price. But yeah, this does not strike confidence at all into the SPY going up some more. Would you short at the VWAP test on the SPY? I would, an even better short would be at the 50 MA test on the SPY if it fails, right? That would definitely be a good one. That 3,800 level on ES was strong. Yeah, I mean 3,800, like is a very very major level, right? And it will get even worse if it was the 3,800 level on the SPX, right? So we see here again, we look at the 1 hour chart and it becomes even more telling, right? So we see here is that we tested the 200 MA as support, okay, failed, went down, tested back again as resistance, okay, broke through, and then again we went up, went back to test it as support, and then looks like we failed now, right? So this again, if you look at a macro view, right, at a much higher level view, we were never above the 200 MA truly to begin with, right? This does look to me, this does strike me as, a failure, a test, a trying, a breakthrough, and a failure of the 200 MA so far, right? If we keep going down, then yeah, that's it. Like, and what is right below the 200 MA, the 21 MA, right? Which is 373.12, right? So that makes sense that we go down and test it, possibly, right? So unless we see some recovery here and quite quickly, we still have 25 minutes for this candle close. So what you want to see in order for this to even have a remote hope, right, of turning around, is this body closing above the 200 MA, right? So then you'd have a wick under, and okay, yeah, that would be a bullish candle of sorts. But until then, no, this is ridiculously bearish, right? Does not strike confidence at all. Now on the 1 day chart though, you can see it almost kind of testing here at 379.55, right? So this was another confirmation, if you will, of a rejection. So it went below the 21 MA. Now it broke through it and is going up. So at the first test of the 50 MA here on the 1 day chart, of course it rejected, right? So again, something to keep in mind here, and this will be telling, of course, on what happens on Monday, right? Don't forget that as well, right? So this is going to be very telling on, how things will go come Monday. Just something to keep in mind here. Okay, so VIX up a little, percentage wise, not a little at all. If you remember, this was almost 5%. Now it's 3, so up 2%, right? And this kind of matches, with where the SPY is at, because the SPY technically is still up 1%, so that's not nothing. Overall on the day, the SPY is up quite a bit. A 1% day on the SPY is nothing to scoff at all, right? So we can see it chopping here towards the rest of the day, right? Which would make actually for a choppy day, because big move up, big move down. So at the end of the day, we just had sort of choppy day. Bear flagging? No, not. I would not call this a bear flag. No, like it's the pole will be too skewed down, right? It can be a no, it's very hard to say it's bear flagging here, but it is a bearish formation for the reasons we said, inverse cup and handle, right? So yeah, we can see if the cup completes, yeah, we can see definitely like a bearish formation here. So all right, so let's see what else we have here. Okay, AMD and Nvidia both starting to climb up again, so that's good. Tesla, no, Tesla took a big hit here. Yeah, it just slid with the market. So Apple looks like it's just hanging out here at a very critical support level, right? So the end of the H of that formation. So this is again a critical level for Apple here. And if we do not get a bounce back, if we do not get a bounce of these levels here, Apple is just gonna go down like I think Joey said. I don't know, someone said that like 135. Yeah, I definitely want to see 135 in the cards for Apple if it does not go up from here. Not the best looks for it at all. uh let's see. And yeah, looks like we're getting, yeah, look here, here comes the drop. Ugh, ugly, very ugly. Apple almost down 2%. And this is the strength of Apple, ladies and gentlemen. This is how strong Apple is. Like, it alone literally pulled the whole market down with it. Literally. Uh, Jay saying missed my short by one tick. I hate that. I hate that. Yeah, I hate when that happens. When you slightly don't get a fill. That is the worst feeling in the world. Especially when it works out your way. On the very rare cases where it doesn't, you're like, yeah, you're like, this is divine intervention. God loves me. uh okay, so back to SPY. Yes, if SPY keeps doing that, like SPY actually might lose all its gains from the day, and you know, we might see the SPY turning red here, right? So this by all means is like definitely a very bad case here for the SPY, right? Like, again, you know, this keeps happening. This is very ugly. So we're gonna need to see some I closed my calls, by the way, if anyone is interesting. We took a little bit of a loss. So overall, it was a loss. Like, even with the profits that I had, that was a loss. That's a no go here, right? So we lost also quite a bit of money on those as well, right? So it is what it is. Made a quick 22% on SPY put. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Well done, my man. Well done. But yeah, it looks like SPY is going for the 200 MA here, you know. So any exciting earnings for next week? I think a few. I think Nvidia next week. I don't remember. I have them in the earnings post that I did. So I had an earnings post, and this is where I posted all the earnings for the month. But I think it ends at November, so I don't probably have anything on there. No, I'm gonna have to do another one. I'm gonna do another, of course, weekly post. You know, this week on Sunday is gonna be out, so it will have all the earnings and, you know, all the macroeconomical events and all that nice stuff. So it's all gonna be on there. So. Yep, looks like we're gonna get yeah, looks like the cup is gonna complete. Yeah, definitely looks pretty bearish here. SPY is falling. Knife. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely looks. Okay, so this day makes more sense to me now, right? So this day definitely makes a lot more sense to me now, right? So again, the unemployment numbers were not that impressive that it just like turns the whole market around. So that makes a lot more sense. Look at Tessie, very similar pattern to yesterday. Big spike up and down by 12 p.m. then sideways. Yes, but like Tesla has a very uh I don't know, let's say unique personality, right? Has a mind of its own, right? It does things as it pleases, you know. So and it's also stuck in a channel because it's kind of waiting for the market to do its thing. So we spoke about this channel before, right? And this is why I had my trigger for Tesla just waiting. I didn't go into calls here because I needed first to clear properly the 230 level. If it does, yeah, sure, 250. But like for now, it just seems to be hanging out around here, right? So this is an important level for it not to lose, because if it does, then we can see this support here, right? Let's see. We see this, we see 203, right? 204 almost, right? So that would be a big drop. That'd be a 15-point drop here for Tesla, right? If that happens, which would be like one hell of a short here. But yeah, Tesla looks again, looks if this is like anything like the SPY, this is Tesla predicting what the SPY is gonna do, then that's pretty damn bad. Apple just horrible death, let's see here. SPY, yeah, of course, like makes sense that the SPY would just follow here, right? Yes, look, SPY is right at 200 MA, right? So that's extremely bearish, right? And the 200 MA on the 5 minute coincides also with the 21 MA on the 1 day. So we might see a little bounce here. Does not mean we don't get a bigger drop, but we might see a momentarily bounce here a little bit. So just keep an eye for that. If you're looking to get into shorts or anything like that, just keep an eye that it might bounce a little bit first before dropping further, right? And look at that, same thing here for the 1 hour. Whoops. Also, the 1 hour is at the 21 MA, right? So we see here support, multiple confluence of levels here. So I don't think we're gonna drop immediately more for now. Even if we do, I think like it'll bounce back a little bit. I don't think we lose all these 3 levels simultaneously just by slicing through them. I think might take a minute here. Anything is possible, obviously, but that's the expectations for now. All right, guys, so I'm getting pretty tired here. We've been streaming for almost 3 hours. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me here today, and joining me all week, right? So this is the last day of the week here. This has been pretty damn exciting. I'll be posting, of course, updates and the weekly watch list pretty damn soon on Sunday tops. So hopefully you guys will be able to join us. If anyone needs anything specific for the weekend, I'll be working on videos, so let me know. I already know that you guys are looking for a Tradeoid video, so I'm definitely gonna start working on that. And also, I believe you guys were looking for an MA and resistance and stuff strategy video, so I'm gonna work on these 2 videos. But if anyone needs something else, let me know. And I really hope you enjoy your weekend. Hope you have fun. Make sure that you try to close today green. Don't get back any profits, so you had that nice ego boost for the weekend. And please don't forget to like the video. Hopefully you guys can do that. That really does help a lot. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Cheers, guys.